Yeah, 6:35. I've got the Bazooka all set up. So now I've got a long day ahead of me. A lot of digging to do over there. So I guess I better get started. Usually when I come up to the San Gabriel, I use a 3/8 classifier, but since I know this stuff is really small, I'm using a 1/4 inch. And then the other thing I normally do is classify it in the water. You know, put it down in the stream and dump water through it. But this stuff, as you can see, is really dry, so any little gold that's probably stuck to something, that I shake it, it probably will come off. Otherwise, when it's kind of moist, it's good to run water so you can wash the gold off the rocks. Around about a half a bucket just to see if I was on the gold, and so far I can see a few pieces. I don't know if you can, it's still kind of dark here. There's some there. Now hopefully there's even more down there under the grizzly and the gold trap. That's where I'm hoping there's a lot. But anyway, it looks like there still is gold in this hole, so I gotta keep digging now. So this is just a minor tip for new people. When you're digging and you run into big, rocks like that you're not going to lift up to, put in the classifier, that you just got to throw out of the way. Look around you, figure out where's the best spot to throw these. Where is a spot where I'm probably and nobody else is going to want to dig? Throw it there. Otherwise, if you just take them and just throw them a couple feet, you may be putting them in the next spot you're going to dig. Now you got to move them all. So it's just a mistake. If you can avoid it, it'll save you a lot of work. I come up here, it reminds me of my dad who died a few years ago. But when I was a little kid, which was a long time ago, he used to take me up here to the East Fork. He was he worked full time, but he was a weekend prospector. He actually had two mining claims out in the desert, gold mining claims. We'd go on, and back then you could blow up the hill with dynamite and nobody cared. But it was a lot easier to find gold back then at the East Fork. You just dig down a couple inches and there's some gold, it seemed. And also, at that point in time, I remember in between the Cattle Canyon Bridge and the parking lot at the end, there's an area we'd go down to, and there was still open shafts from where people had dug way back in there. I remember as a kid crawling in one of them and finding some old artifacts and that. My mom about had a heart attack. What are you doing? That thing's going to cave in on you. But now I have an idea where one of them might be, but it's all caved in. You can't tell for sure. But yeah, it was a lot different. Gold was only $35 an ounce, so most people just did it, come up and have some fun and thrill of finding gold. My dad just had a homemade sluice box we used. Thing weighed a ton, made out of wood and so forth. But it was a lot of fun, so he kind of put that legacy in my blood, I guess. So here I am today. Well, I'm getting down there a ways. As you can see, I'll show you in a second here. Got a pretty good hole going on. Actually, I'm down to some bedrock. It's like a false bedrock. I got a couple boulders that probably came together right about there, and I can't seem to budge them. Eventually, I guess, you know, depending on how big they are, eventually I might be able to dig around them and get them out. There should be some good gold under those if I can do that. But making the hole a little bigger, expanding outwards, and going under, which you have to be careful, otherwise this whole thing's going to fall down before I want it to. So, yep, there's some falling down now. Another minor tip, just for you new people, on the East Fork especially, you know, it's been dug, you've been digging here for so many years that you may be digging in a hole like this and you're thinking, all right, nice fresh hole. Then all of a sudden you find a beer can down there after you've dug a few feet out. So what the deal is, let's say once I play this hole out completely and then I want to dig over here, for instance, what I would probably do, the dirt I dig out of there I would throw into this hole and fill it up. Now you come along, you know, a year or two later and thinking it's a brand new hole, and I've already gone through all that dirt. So what you want to look for is, look at the dirt in between the rocks. How compact is it? If it looks like it's really hard and compacted, then you got a pretty good chance this hasn't been dug yet. But if it looks real loose, then it's probably just somebody just dumped all that in there some time ago. And that's not an infallible rule, because after a period of time, if I filled this up and water washed over it on and on and on, then most of that's going to get hard and compacted. So anyway, just hopefully you'll find one that hasn't been disturbed yet. Again, this is just another point for new people coming up to these forks. So those that aren't new, you'll be bored to death. But anyway, there are no claims on the East Fork. It's all open to the public. Anybody can go anywhere. But there's kind of an unwritten law. Let's say you've been digging in a hole and getting some good material and you feel there's even better, and you're going to be coming up, you know, on a regular basis. What you do, you stick a big stick or branch, you know, anything straight down in the middle of it, pack it down so it won't fall over. And well, here's the problem with that. That's no guarantee. But it's supposed to mark that as that's your hole. But there's about 3 or 4 different types of people I've learned over a period of time. They're going to see that stick. There's the one type, they don't know why it's there. They just think it's a stick, so they start digging. Okay, they're innocent. You got the other type that know what it is and will respect it. That's good. Then you've got another type that know what it is and say, hey, there's gold there. I'm going to be digging in that hole. So then the other type is you come back and there's some guy digging in the hole, and he argues with you saying, oh, I've been digging in this hole for months in this area. This is my area. Now most of the people that prospect up here are real nice, but you're going to get some that seem to have an attitude. They think they own the whole East Fork, and you know, you're an intruder. So in that case, what I do, I just let them have it. You know, you're not going to, they're not reasonable, let me put it that way. They got this attitude. So, but yeah, you can try it. I don't mess with the stick anymore. So if I come back, somebody else dug, fine, there's more gold probably over there. So you know, but if they don't dig and I still have a chance to get some more of it, hey, that's even better. Using the Bazooka, this is the prospector version of it, it's called, and it comes in different lengths. You don't really have to classify, because The bigger rocks will go over the, once in a while they get stuck in between, but they'll normally just go bounce over the grizzly and go off the end. Or once in a while you got to try to push them off the end, depending on how much water flow you have, of course. But the reason I'm classifying this time, since I put the matting in there, and I want to get an idea if I'm on the gold, if I didn't classify, the bigger rocks might have a tendency to make the gold bounce out of there. Of course, it would go into the gold trap, but I wouldn't see what's going on that way. So that's why I've got it classified down to 1/4 of an inch. As you can see. Again, for you new people, another thing that's good to do is, kind of glance into your, get the big rocks out of the way and glance at your rocks. You don't have to spend a bunch of time, just see if there's anything that looks like a gold nugget in there. In this area, I've never found a nugget that couldn't fit through here. I wish I would. But what I have found is maybe you'll pick up a piece of quartz or something and stuck on it is a piece of gold that didn't break off yet. So that's happened to me. And once in a while you just, maybe find an interesting rock you want to take home. But again, just, you don't want to spend all day doing it. I'm just spending all day just for the video here. But normally, I just kind of glance at it, dump it out. You're ready to go. There's one batch of concentrates. Like I say, that trap holds quite a bit. Then whatever was on the matting's in there now too. You can see some gold in here. There's not a lot of light right here, so I don't know if you can see it. There's some over there even. Let's see what the final cleanup is after going through a lot of dirt and a long day. Let me see. Find some sun here so I can see what's going on. Okay, there's some. Oh yeah, some nice pieces actually. little pickers even. Well, that's as far as I'm going to clean up at this point. Take it home and go through it all and put it in a bottle. Hoping my wife will say again, "Ooh, that's a lot." Paw print here. I'm not an expert. Have to get Pharaoh to check this out. I don't know if that's a bear print. Looks like it has claws on it, and it's big. Put my boot next to it, give you an idea about the size of it. When I was here, I noticed quite a bit of dirt had slid down a hill here. And so I just took a pan and just scooped a little into it, and I found a few flakes in it. So getting about a half a bucket this time and examine it, see what we got. So again, it's been another wonderful day. You know, I found some gold, some pieces bigger than last time. I don't know if the total will be as much as last time, but well, weather's perfect, and it's supposed to start getting hotter every day, so glad I got up here when I did. Notice on the way out, the little park on the left-hand side, picnic area that they have closed off. Looks like they're doing a lot of maintenance on it. I forgot, I guess this is Labor Day weekend, and normally what happens up here, you got to get up here like Friday sometime, because so many people will come up here. They end up shutting the road down, not letting anybody else in. Anytime there's a holiday, seems like that's what happens. If it's, you know, a sunny day, people like to come up, picnic, make a big mess, swim, make a big mess, and then go home and throw the trash out of their car on their way out. It'll be a total disaster. For any of you that aren't in California, just to show you how bad this drought is, this is after we had some, you know, big rains about a week ago or so. But look, you can see the water mark up there on the hill where it normally is, and this is it, that little trickle behind this reservoir here, this dam over here. So we're in dire straits with no hope in the near future. Okay, here's what I got. A lot of fine, but there are some bigger chunks in there.